Right, hello everyone, welcome back. We've got another game coming up. First one went by pretty quickly, but now we've got IAS going up against Vega. This is a game that we're catching up from the Group B, and I'm joined here by the beautiful two casters, Golu and Leo again. They'll be joining me on the analyst desk for a little bit because we've had a little bit of an outage of analysts, so I get to talk to you guys instead, which is also fun. So, very quickly, I'll run you through the map bans. We're going to Oregon again, big shocker. We've seen this map a lot. We know that these teams really like playing it. It's very default, it's very well developed, it's very well known and explored. There's not really something that could surprise you on this map. Any approach has been done a million times, but uh, what do you think about the matchup? Do you think that there's anything interesting about the matchup per se, or maybe do you think there could be something interesting with their playstyles clashing? Just let me know. Anything off the top of your mind, Golo.
I always have this interesting thing when it comes to Oregon, right? I like seeing Oregon. I know it's people, you see it a lot, but it means teams know it. There's always I feel like every time I talk about Oregon, I come with one of two takes, and the first take is the better team should want to play Oregon because they'll be better and they'll play the map better. And then the other take is everyone knows Oregon, so the weaker team stands a chance to have a bit of an upset. Whereas you look at that, both of those are valid, and I think both of them are true. I just think Oregon is a good way to test yourself out, and especially in early stages of an event, you want to go in on a map that you know you're going to at least have a stable footing on. That's going to give you a good chance to go up against any opponent you face, and Oregon just kind of is that bread and butter map in Siege. It's interesting to see how this game is going to unfold. We saw this game obviously get delayed from what should have been earlier on in the week, and instead Vega have played another game against T86 since then, which they lost 7-5. Playing Villa, it was actually 86 that banned the Oregon away, so again another situation where Vega very happy to let that map slip through. So I'm interested to see how these two teams play up against each other, teams that have played against each other in other Talent League events as well, and they've always had pretty good showings. So I think we could be looking at a potential long run here, or maybe even an overtime on the cards.
Right, yeah, very good point. I mean, you want to be exploring with something that's more of a safe bet in these groups, especially with how punishing they are. They are relentless. You play 3 games, they're 3 best of 1s, and then the
Yeah.
groups are over. It's done. So if you lose one game, that can have a really, really dramatic effect, and you can see it with Vega. They've lost one game. It was a very tight series against 86. They nearly brought it to overtime on Villa, ended up falling just shy of that. And so they go out of that first match with 0 points, and now the pressure is on because they only have 2 more games. If they lose this one, they're pretty much out already. We've seen it in other groups where if you lose 2 games outright, if you lose them in regulation, there's no way that you can come back in. All these other teams are just going to take points away from you, and then they're too far ahead. So bring out Oregon, just more of a default choice. You said that they're very comfortable on it, and at the same time, IS just they're going to go in completely cold. So we haven't seen them yet at all in the Titan series.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be, I think, a bit of an unexpected variable within this group because so far we haven't seen them play. And the question is, where do they fit in this group? Do they fit into where the top? Do they make it through, or do they get eliminated? And so this match is going to be very telling of how IS progress in this group. But regardless of that, I'll let you guys take it away as we're moving into the operator bans and into Oregon.
Another little
Red Golo.
Yeah, we got another Oregon game for us, Leo. Look, the ban's maybe a bit different. The game potentially unfolding in a slightly more unique way. The Ying ban, does that come through again?
Oh, I think the game is gonna play entirely different. I don't think a lot of teams play like White Tiger, so it should play differently. We have the Ulsa man here, so I mean I don't know. Why is the Ying ban so important? Like why do you think they even banned the Ying on the last game?
Ying's just annoying. I think
Is
that
she-
comes
is
down
she-
to the basis. Like, if I had to give you one, it's annoying.
Yeah.
I think especially when you're looking at teams and you're looking at a map like Oregon, you get the opportunity to throw in those Candelas, and with it being available this game potentially, right? The Osa and then the Nook ban following it. If you're looking at sites, especially like the basement, where you're trying to drop down through the hatch in E-box, push into elbow at the same time, come down the back stairs, being able to drop a Candela and just get so much value and so much pressure off of that to then follow through on, that can really help a team break some of these harder to hold positions. And I mean, that's one of the reasons it gets banned away. There's also just like 4 Candelas, right? And when the patch notes were coming out, there was a lot of discussion. Is it better to have 3 with double the duration, or to get that 4th one, but each one lasts a little bit less? And I think we're kind of seeing like just getting that extra candela, that extra opportunity to completely blind your opponent is so powerful, especially as teams become more succinct on pushing together off of the candela. The second that you lose on the duration becomes way less important.
Right, but would you say she's as strong on Oregon, like to the point that you would need to, like, do you kind of need to run in, especially when you're attacking some of these sites like Laundry? Because I can see how effective she could be when you're attacking Laundry on these hatches, but I don't know if I would say it's to the point where like you need to run Ying.
The Ying's not necessary. It's like a taste thing. It's a bit like if you can play it and you know how to use it and you can do it well as a team, go for it. It's going to be very effective. If you don't know what you're doing with it, or you don't think you need to, or you just don't feel comfortable, don't bother. It's not gonna hamstring you, right? You're not gonna be punished. You're not gonna be unable to play the map because of it. No, there's no real operator in the game at the moment, on the attacking end at least, that I feel has that, right? I feel like you can get away with being able to sort of not really play some operators fully effectively. But the more interesting thing here is Vega coming out with a cracker of an opening lineup here. We've got the Monty, and you pair that with the Dokkaebi, with the Finker, with the Lion. You go in for your for your rush, right? You
Jesus
go for a rush
Christ!
play. What's one shield when you can have 2, and you can already see the first Razor Bloom going off, trying to buy their way through the doorway, but a lot of damage coming on to Pervix and just having to turn and run. Don't want to fight into it. Suka just waiting very patiently on this corner. A bit of a gamble play coming through, and the utility stack has just halted it completely.
Yeah, that used to be the most toxic pick you could actually make on the attack back in the day. Especially instead of like the Finka, you would pair it with a Ying, and it would be so annoying and toxic to play against. But it's not effective anymore, if you ask me. Like after the first minute of the round, when the defense actually realized what you're playing and how you're gonna play the round, it's not as effective anymore because you lost the element of surprise, right?
Yeah, and you can see what's happened here, right? The lineup just isn't that all-encompassing. You don't have a lot of options to take things with, and you know, you've got the smokes on the Monty, so you don't really have the hard resources. You've got EMPs then on the Dokkaebi with nothing to really pair it up for. I mean, you could maybe turn off a Banshee and push through, but they didn't do that on the door, and things got halted out. And now you're halfway through the round. You don't really have the utility basis to go for a standard take. You're left with a couple questions to ask and a couple ways to try and figure out, how are we going to break through? How are we going to get downstairs and start pressuring onto that site?
Yeah, especially with both of these shield players, there's so much pressure right now on the Dokkaebi and the Finka to actually get these gunfights and win them outright. But also my question is, like, what did Vega actually think is gonna happen this round? Because this blue defense is actually pretty default, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And it looked like they were planning to rush or do something that's, you know, that didn't happen. So I'm not too sure what the plan was right there. I mean, it looks like the attack is just crumbling right now. The Blitz is gonna go down. They will trade one, but they will get another one on the Dokkaebi here, so we just Finka with that one gun, and she's also down, so it's a 4v1 right now, and it just had Monty, and that never ends in a nice fashion, right, for the Monty. It never looks pretty for him, and there we go. Roxanne is just gonna get that kill on the Monty, gonna finish it off and with a headshot, and that's a round. A lot of question marks.
Well, question marks, nothing that's really going to be done off of it either, because that's not a sort of strat you run out. I like the attempt from Vega coming out off the bat. You catch them off guard with a bit of a rush, but the moment they ran into the Banshee, the Razor Bloom, everything just kind of fell apart a little bit from that point onwards, and they kind of just realized, okay,
But then again, Golo, isn't that just a default setup on blue?
Yeah, but like, you can pull it off as a rush if you just commit to it. You know, the Banshee not being dealt with, Razor Bloom's good outside. I mean, Thorn is a mainstay operator, right? You're gonna have people buy blue, but it was the Banshee paired with the Razor Bloom, paired with 2 or 3 people all watching to that way. That dissuaded them, and rather than committing to it, trying to force something on the elbow, they backed up. They lost that momentum. They lost the pace that you want that sort of lineup coming out on an attack on basement to have. It fell apart from minute 0.
I agree with you. I think they should have just committed towards the blue rush after they just fell back. I mean, it was really obvious that the round is just gonna fall apart for them.
And now, on the defense, IAS get to go up to the top floor, and the lineup changing quite a lot to suit that, right? They've got the Azami coming in, which you love to see, or hate to see, depending. I mean, Azami is just nuts. The ability of these keepers to set up defensible positions for the defense and just sort of react to how the attack's coming through is brilliant, a tool to be able to have in your arsenal. Crack's looking to come underneath now. So lurking away through lockers, potentially looking towards the hatch and kitchen up into the dorms to try and catch someone off guard. It's Rexon just not looking, not aware of someone coming through basement. The first kill very comfortably in Vega's hand, and another one of these plays where they're coming off the bat with something pretty quick. This time works out for them.
Yeah, it definitely looks like one of these sneaky plays when the defense is just not really aware of what's happening on the attack. Obviously, we didn't really see what happened, but I'm sure that's what happened right there towards the armory. It looks like Mute is aware right now, and oh, but the Sophia is gonna catch us, like gonna get half of his HP down, and Vega is gonna be able to get another kill here with the SMG-11. So, really good start for them on the attack. 5v3, and obviously they're just gonna take it slow now. Gonna open up that main lobby door, just keep creating that pressure. Gonna step back and make a plan.
And now with 3 members alive, all kind of funneled into that site, the attack looking to try and poise themselves around, but sickly able to take down Nolf. So you alleviate a little bit of that pressure. Zofia, a couple of those explosives already used to remove some of the utility setup. But now a little bit harder for the attack. This breach accessible, you can start to get your way funneling through, and with no one playing in pit, you're seeing Prax taking that control away, but doesn't want to commit to the drop just yet. As I say that, just jumping straight on through. The mirror window being popped up to give themselves a sight line, but it's being used as a decoy, as well Sickly and Joker able to get Nyx on the board for their team, turn the momentum of the round, and as I say that, 2 swings the other way. Poser and YMK each picking up a member of this defensive side, so Joker now in the 1 versus 2 to try and consolidate this lead on the defense, looking to try and swing close on White Stairs, but loses it out to YMK. He's not getting snuck up on today. The vision blocker, that only works for drones, mate, and instead you're going to lose your head.
Great shot by YMK right there to just take that head off that Jaeger and win out the round. A great 2v1, but I mean, that round was really back and forth. I wasn't sure who was going to win it out. I mean, it looked like Vega had the advantage at first with that 5v3 advantage, but then the defense just looked like they're just going to win it outright. And Vega were able to win out those gunfights and make it a 2v1 and then kill the Jaeger. So, a lot of back and forth there this round. And hopefully this is how this game is going to go, because this is really interesting right now.
And despite losing the last defensive round, they do not want to replay the Dawns. They're going down to the tertiary site. We saw Dining play twice last game. We saw the meeting come in as well from the side of White Tigers. Vega, they're going to have to figure out how they want to attack this meeting, because that is the preference for the Spirits. And so you're looking at the lineups, pretty standard-ish. That is Aruni, Amaru still coming through for Crack, so clearly valuing the ability to move very quickly over large areas of space. And we saw that in the last round right here. He's walking down through the basement, comes up towards the White Stairs, gets a kill, immediately running outside the building and rappelling up into Big Tower to get a second and start applying that pressure into Attic. So using this gadgetry to make the most effect of being able to maneuver quickly. A little bit of support here, though, to try and prevent that early pressure in Big this time, investing that Azami at the top of T3.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the defense going to another side here just shows that they're confident that they're not gonna let that one round that they lost just now really affect them in any way. They know that they can win the other sides as well, and Doc is gonna go down here really early on. The Amar is gonna take his head off, and he was challenging that gunfight towards towers, so he got what he asked for, not in the way that he wanted, I'm sure. Yeah, Yana here is gonna pressure from Armory side. Drones coming in, and the defense is definitely feeling that pressure early on towards the top of the top floor here.
Sweet, you want to try and get this main breach into games opening up to give yourself an alternate angle. They have the ace, 2 Selmas still in pocket, 1 already been used in the round. Now you can see it there, just trying to pop open into pit as well, deny the angle to Joker, but it's Fantasy able to use that to their advantage, and now with Nolf off the table, you lose that set of nades, no longer access to that hammer when you want to start to apply the vertical pressure down. Vega need to figure out exactly what they want here, because half the round's gone, and they've just lost another player peeking into Shuka just blindly. There's not a lot of coordination here.
Yeah, great peek, great kill by Shooker. They're being ready for that gunfight, but again, they're just peeking one by one, and doesn't look like they were using that advantage that they got early on. Killing that Doc early on, and oh my god, Jesus Christ! All right, he'll be able to get away. Yeah.
And well, YMK does grab one back, now putting on white stairs. The Beepers giving away that presence. He's on the left by Bunks and caught with the gadget active, but then immediately starts reloading, not realizing Fantasy is so close by. He is able to be shot down, and well, the Solace has been injured on the top floor, should be spotted out and shot pretty soon. There we go, as I say that. Prax already inside of sight, watching the rotation at the back of Kitchen to grab the final kill and grab Vega another attacking round win. But still one of these rounds which just looks like it falls together out of nowhere, or if anything it falls apart from a defensive end of things, right? You have this slow build up from Vega, they hold out, they don't really know what they're doing, you see a lot of rotations happening just to try and figure out some sort of opening, and people just die suddenly.
Yeah, definitely looks like that's what happened. I mean, Vega made a lot of mistakes that round, especially early on towards the mid round. They were peeking one by one, and they weren't really playing together as a team, I would say. But then, after like the midpoint, when they weren't, when they were in disadvantage, it looked like they were just given those gunfights and just won them somehow. So I'm not too sure what to make of this. I don't know if this the defense. If this is just the defense just making a lot of mistakes after getting those gunfights, or if it's just because of Vega's superior gun skill. I don't think that's the case, to be honest. It just looks like gunfights are happening that shouldn't be happening.
5 seconds remaining.
And ultimately, if you're not able to sort of hold on to these defensive leads,
Attackers must
and
locate
you give
defuse the
opportunities
bomb.
for attackers to find random one-off kills, leads start to slip away. And we saw that in our last matchup, right? It didn't matter if 82 had a lead, just the consistency from White Tigers able to bounce back into that. And with this continuous non-stop running of the Amaru, I do have to wonder, when is this going to be punished, right? Prax on 4 kills. He got none in the opening round, so that's 2 kills each in the last 2 rounds. Just slowly grabbing advantages for his team, just playing as this solo operator. You banned out the Nook because you didn't need it. You had this pick for Prax in the pocket, and I mean, you're seeing a little bit of stalling out as the drone throw failed. It just goes, whatever, I'm just going to rappel straight on through anyway. I have to wonder when we're going to start to see IAS just bounce back or contest the entries.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they definitely contest them early on, but it looks like they're lost towards the mid round. As I said before, I mean, we're gonna see how it's gonna go right now, because this is gonna be definitely a challenging one for Vega. This is gonna be a laundry attack, and it should take at least quite a while for them to clear out most of the map here.
There we go.
Yeah, but I mean, the defense is gonna get one, and they're gonna fall right back. Pretty textbook right here, and 140 on the clock. Yeah, Yana here is gonna use a nade, gonna waste a nade, I would say, to open up that hatch, because the Amara is not on the table anymore for them. So it's definitely gonna create a lot of difficulties for Vega here.
Still working to clear through this middle floor, and afraid of Roma's still lurking around, the logic bomb being invested, but like you mentioned, everyone's down below, and a minute 15, not a ton of work done towards these hatches, because they only have the Katatau to be able to get them opened up. There's no cage for you to wrestle with, so this really should be getting done. As you can see, the first one deployed to that hatch over in electrical is being broken. A little bit of sneaky play here by YMK, though, who has made their way into locker, and with the way the wall has been set up by the defense, has a long angle cutting off a lot of the movement through laundry. still very little from the rest of Vega to sort of use this advantage, use this position they've been able to gather.
Yeah, we have to mention there's only 40 seconds here on the clock, and Vega, they need to do something here. They need to make something happen here. Not a lot of pressure from the hatches here. The guy is gonna go down the stairs. Ash is gonna go push down. He's gonna lose the gunfight to the Jaeger with the shotgun, and that's not an easy one to win. So really understandable. 20 seconds here. Smoke is gonna stall out the rest of the laundry push here. They're gonna get another one, a 4v2 right now for the defense, and it looks like they're just sitting pretty comfortably here, holding the laundry.
Leo, there's not much to do when you do get that control of lockers, but you walk straight into the waiting arms of the M870. An unconventional weapon choice by the Jaeger for sure, but you can always expect a shotgun somewhere on a defensive lineup. And it just so happens to be waiting around the corner of the door you're peeking. And instead, what you could have seen, right, with the position in lockers held, Capital still available with full util. You can burn away the mirror window, chuck smokes in the corridor, start to work your way in for potential plant opportunity, or at least to try and isolate some gunfights. But instead, just jumping the gun a tad and, well, good job by the defense to read into that and just start challenging on this non-record. They didn't give them the opportunity to get the set up. I would have liked to see Vega a little bit quicker to clear out the rest of that middle floor, because we saw quite a large stagnation from them between losing the opening pick and then starting to make their presence known around the site. I think if they can cut down on that time in between, it will give them the opportunity where players don't feel the need to look for that individual play to try and get that opening. You can work around it with utility, given that more time.
Yeah, definitely. Well played by IAS here, just generally playing a good defense that last round, but you had to wonder what's happening with the operator picks there. They weren't expecting a laundry attack, or what was the reasoning for them like not bringing a dedicated R breach? I mean, this time it's gonna be different. They're gonna bring out the thermite, and I hope it's gonna make a difference for them, because I feel like Vega is really losing out these rounds because of these unconventional picks, right? Like, just like they lost the first round and just like they lost the last round, I would say it's more kind of up to them, not really. I understand. Okay, go. I understand trying to do things differently and trying to, try and be surprising and not do always the conventional stuff that your enemy is gonna expect, right? But there's a limit, right? You can't push. You can't do a laundry take. At least you shouldn't be able to without the proper heart reach. And also, the long time that they took clearing out the entire building and all of that, I feel like it's just like up to Vega right now, and up to the way they want to play this game right now. Do you want to win this game, or do you want to try some new stuff, something new? Ash is gonna actually push right in through this breach, gonna take down Joker here, and they're gonna have this control at the top of the stairs with the Ayana. So really aggressive early on. I like this. This is different.
Again, Vega taking that initial step forward and walking up through the utilities, recognizing a potential gap, noticing there aren't the sort of rotations that you might see on a more extended hold of this top part of the map above the kitchen, and using that to their advantage, pushing in quickly, isolating that one gunfight, and now Null able to grab themselves a second, this sledge using the verticality to limit the movements of IAS, and with the breach being opened up now by the thermite, giving themselves some options to start moving on in. Once they get that control over the site, they can really start to collapse, but the gunfight's coming back up against them, as Sickly able to grab one back, YMK taking a lot of damage as this remount of white stairs is starting to take place. Still the pressure, able to get them the kill onto that Echo as a second falls so quickly afterwards. Rexon unaware of the long angle drawn by the sledge from above. Fantasy finds himself in a 1 versus 3, a tough corner to kick themselves out of, but with so much of this attack committing to dropping down to being on this plant, it's Nolf upstairs, hasn't heard the movement of the Jaeger, sees it too late, and dies. Now the advantage is with this offense, who can play above, who can use the angles back against them, spots the rotation, coming out of security, and gets the injure as well. Whether they know it or not is the big question. walking down the staircase. One member left to find. They'll see the blood trail. They'll know that the Dokkaebi has been injured on out, and it's down to the 1v1, but has to be careful crossing the long angle. Thermite in the back of meeting. Pozo, it's all on you to see this round out for your team. The Beeper giving away his position as he's trying to walk down into split. He knows exactly where to look for now. 14 seconds he has to commit to taking this gunfight. The tracers and the damage, it gets him so low. But the time ticking away, and he has to commit above the sandbags. Pozo, waiting patiently, gets the final swing to secure another attacking round for Vega.
Yeah, that's a great try there by Fantasy. I mean, great job getting that kill from the top, especially flanking at the right time, and then getting the kill down towards the bottom floor through the ceiling. But I think it was pretty obvious if Pozo plays it right, if he doesn't make any mistakes, he should win. He should win that out, just because the Jaeger doesn't have enough time, right? Especially after Vega realized that Jaeger just got the kill on the injured player, and then you can kind of look at the clock, and you just kind of realize, all right, I'm just gonna play here passively. But definitely a great play by Fantasy there, and I mean, you would love to see it go the other way, but again, Vega and IS just back and forth here. These rounds really hectic, always a back and forth. You never really know who's gonna win it out.
Now another defensive round upstairs above for the last of the half, and if IS can go into the end 3-3, I think they'll be happy with that takeaway, can move on to the attack and start to try and fight your way back. Vega want to consolidate this first half though with that win, and honestly, I have a little bit of faith in them being able to do so. The last time they were attacking here, we did see a little bit of a slip up with playing around pit, right? The timing on opening up the mirror window paired with stuns being thrown led Prax to being in that vulnerable position alone with no one watching his back as he's throwing nades. And that led to the Jaeger grabbing the kill, which was sort of the beginning of that slip and slide from them. But now, still again, this presence down below the site. And I do wonder what the approach from Vega is to try and dislodge it, because we've seen concerted efforts from Frax and Nolf to clear out the space. Who's on that designated duty this time? This YMK could also look to be going in through small tower there. Is that YMK or is that Oxy?
Definitely. It looks like Vega is just going to go for a more traditional approach this time around, and especially with the Thermite here on the board, they're just gonna take it slow, clear out all the possible angles that they need to, and just take the control slowly as they need to. The sledge is actually gonna come and clear down from the bottom floor here with the Ash. So a lot of map control here, and the defense is not really answering back at the moment, but they do need to clear out kitchen. So we're gonna see how that goes. There is an injured Yana here, though. I'm not too sure how that happened, but that was an army. Actually, Jaeger's gonna get that kill. And a 4v3 right now for defense. That's just also gonna go down, and that's one of the roam clearers 4v2 right now. That looks like a cleanup for IS, if you're asking me.
Yeah, it looks like just every entry point for Vega cut down, taken away from them, players going down, and just not working together enough, right? You're seeing Oxy just going in by himself into Armory, gets inched out, there's no one there to support or grab that kill back. You're seeing Prax trying to 1v1 the mirror downstairs inside a kitchen, gets taken down, no value to be gained for Vega. And if you keep letting that happen, well, you find yourself in a situation where you've lost 3, taken 1 off the table, but with the defense having operators like the Azami and the Mirror who goes windows and keep you set in a position to disrupt and prevent you from pushing in.
Fully flashed.
A kill through the stun from Trigger just to add insult to injury with how this match has been going for, this round has been going for, the continuation of Kibas being deployed just to prevent you walking into the doorways. You hear the tear on that Nitro Cell, and Nolf knows he needs to be a little bit cautious around that wall. Maybe try and bait out the explosion and can't shoot it down. There it goes, not going to catch any damage onto him, and I guess the Kibas for the time being, giving him a little bit of a lifeline, a little bit of protection from the swing of Trophy.
Yeah, they're not even giving him any chances. I mean, look at that, the way the defense plays right now. They're not even beat. Just as I say that, he's gonna be with the shotgun. Nofia doesn't have any time anymore, and they do know this. As long as they don't do anything too crazy, she cannot win. And I mean, there we go. It's a cleanup for the defense, but it's 3-3 right now. And I know, Goal, I said on a previous map that Oregon is pretty defender-sided, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like this match, it's defender side. It just feels like both of these teams are equally matched, and both of them are capable of winning rounds depending on how the round goes, right? It looks like they both of them have different play styles, and according to how how like how things how things happen, it just looks like both teams are able to win on the round.
Yeah, I think the big reason for that is just there is that disconnect with both of these teams giving opportunities to each other. That last round, Vega, this sort of spread out style that's worked for them quite well, in that, you know, you're getting cracks in positions where he's catching players off guard and able to take a quick 1 versus 1, grab that hit, get that advantage, move into the created space, and use that to make space for other members of the team to then continue that sort of momentous pressure. When it doesn't work, you see what happens. They fall pretty flat on their face. They don't really get a foothold in the map. They maybe walk into armory. They start walking in through master bedroom door, but they get cut off pretty early on into rounds. So, a bit of feast or famine, and I know that's quite a popular way for teams to play these days, right? Having players who can go off and make those moments for themselves. The side swap, though, is going to be the first opportunity to bring the Ying into the game here. We talked about it a little bit before with the ban phase, right? It's going to be an option that's available to them and can help teams with their executes onto the basement. Pair that with Fantasy's Lion, so the ability to blind and then also gather information and intel on the locations of your defenders. Nice little way to sort of try and catch players off guard. The Warden on Prax, obviously the obvious counter to that. Whether they end up meeting, I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. Having the Ying and the Lion here, great combination. I mean, again, as I said before, it was one of the worst combinations to play against back in the day, and I'm sure that's still the case, because if the Ying throws the ball correctly at the right time and Lion scans you, I mean, you're kind of, you know, you can't really go anywhere and you can't really do anything because you're blind and you can't really fight back. And you can't move either, so definitely something that if IAS used correctly in tandem is going to be able to help them a lot with this frontier and also on this execute, especially with Ying having 4 candles now, as you said.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Fancy standing on the back staircase, waiting for the drone information to come through before he commits to walking down towards lockers. Has to be aware of what's seen on the box. The drone will spot that out. A little bit of a pre-fire just to try and catch someone off. And with that drone continuing to give the information, you know, he can start to walk down, but instead backing away, moving over towards the laundry stairs instead. And as we're seeing the rest of the hatches get opened up, this is where the opportunity for that Ying to thrive will start to come through. Nice little bit of placement from this shock drone to try and take down the utility. That's going to open up the opportunity for nades to come sailing on through in towards lockers and force that Jaeger out.
1 minute on the clock here, and it looks like IAS is just going to be able to force down a kill from down the hatch here. Jaeger is going to look a bit lost. Ibana is going to get another kill here, and there we go. That's the execute. The flashes are coming down. The Lion is going to scan. The flashes are going down as well. C4 is going to be able to get the kill on Joker, though. So much hectic here. So much hectic. No control here for the Jaeger, but he's going to be able to get 1 kill. He's going to be traded back. 30 seconds here on the clock. The attackers have a lot of time here to work with, especially with this being a 3v2, but now it's a 2v2. Plant going down.
The cover from elbow, so it's going to be difficult for the defenders to retake if they don't get the swing off together, but instead it just goes down to Pozo, who wins the first gunfight, but Shuka gets the diffuser down, looks towards Highway, which is the immediate threat, and able to get that gun trained around the chassis to find the mirror as well. So despite Vega looking like they were remounting, gonna dislodge that defense, able to find a way to cut it back in their favor. They get that first attacking win, Leo.
Yeah, great attack by IAS. I like that they really balance out the Ying, the Lion, and bring out that annoying playstyle towards the execute, but also not really overdoing it, like in my opinion Vega did, and bringing out that Ibana. You know, you still have that operator that can open up the hatches, and I mean, as you saw, the Ibana was also capable of getting a lot of kills for them. So it looks like they know how to balance it out, and it works out for them, because towards the execute, towards the end, it really looked like IAS were ready and prepped for everything that the defense is gonna throw at them. and they were able to get those trades and get the plan on time. So I like this a lot.
And IES are going to get to play on the top floor, Dawn's defense. And you can see again the Goyo making an appearance here. And it makes a lot of sense, right? You're looking at the barbed wire being placed down to slow down the pushes coming through pit. You have the Vulcan canister deployed right next to it, so you hear the barbed wire start to go. You can get that pretty far off. You can't secure a kill. You get the fire going. You waste those 20 seconds off the clock, and it gives Vega that opportunity just to reallocate themselves, reposition for the oncoming attack. The early round for IES is going to be interesting to see once again, though, because Ying back in the lineup. Under a different player, it's now Shuka, who was on the Habana before. No hard breach being brought. So clearly showing we're not going to be breaches, we're very much going to be playing around windows, around getting quick access into the site and using tools like the Gara Hook, like the Candelas to give us that advantage. But with YMK playing aggressively on this Goyo, able to get the damage, able to secure a double kill downstairs inside of Dining. And so IAS, a team which were looking to adhere that forward pressure and really try and get an aggressive run, have just been completely kneecapped here. And with YMK still going, yet to take a single chip of damage for the 3 kills that he's collected, looking for his 4th, he'll make it a quad in the round, Leo. Rexon, the last member alive, the only thing between giving YMK the ace in his insider classroom. And you can see the Goyo looking for that kill. He's hungry for it, Leo. He really wants to finish off this round with that ace fashion, but patience, quiet, coming through.
He's really hungry for it. I mean, just give him the ace at this point. He does deserve it. He basically did it all, right? There was no real pressure from his teammates. He just went for these individual picks, and it doesn't look like he's gonna get the ace, but it doesn't matter. The Goyo still won this round for his teams pretty much single-handedly, if you ask me. I mean, there was some pressure through the window by the smoke or the mute. I'm not sure which one it was with the SMG-11 there, but Goyo, it was pretty much all Goyo the entire round, right? He just went for these peaks, and it looked like he just won them. Won all of them without a lot of help from his teammates, and that's Siege sometimes. You know, that's FPS, and that's how these rounds sometimes go. Sometimes it's just not conventional Siege, and it's just one player getting all the kills.
Yeah, it turns out if you hit the head, they die, and if you can hit 4 heads, 4 people die. And if 4 people die, it leaves 1 alive, and a 1 versus 5 is a little bit difficult to try and overcome. And so, I mean, yeah, like you said, just YMK, just go beast mode. And you can't do anything about someone who's going down, so you can. Also secures them a pretty comfortable round win. And yeah, it was top floor, and slightly you're expected to be able to do that, but without having to commit too much to it, just being able to grab a free round, you're never going to complain. The question here is, how do they figure out this basic point? The last time around, the Ying coming through really did a bit of a number on them, right? You saw the Candelas pairing that with frag grenades to prevent any aggressive pushes to contest the hatch drop inside of the box. This time, the Ying not making an appearance from IAS.
Yeah,
so
the Ying is not on the board.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives a little bit of freedom to Vega to get a little bit more aggressively on these drops when the execute starts to come through. How is this roam going to be dealt with, though? Because Prax already looking to get aggressive from split.
Yeah, it looks like these players are going to play more heavily towards meeting this time, and looks like they definitely changed up the way they played this time around on this defense. Vega, I mean by that. And it looks like they're going to try and go and stall a little bit more and even maybe go for these early aggro kills, right? Because they don't really know that the Ying is not on the board here. So for them, the execute is a death sentence, and they don't really want to go to get to that stage. So they're gonna get the first kill here, just as they planned. They're gonna get the Ash off the map here, and make it a 5v4. Now, if you're asking me, usually you want to go back towards the basement here and just hold it towards the side, but not with this strat, and especially not when you're expecting a Ying, right? Because for them, make it a 5v4, it doesn't really matter if Ying is still possibly on the board here. Oh my god, he's gonna be able to get the Habana as well, but the Ayana is gonna get the trade right here. So they made it a 4v3, made it a 4v2 just now, 4v1, and it looks like this aggressive roam is really gonna work out for Vega.
crazy how much value YMK can get, and the nade from Joker coming in towards security. But with Prax just waiting on Zulu corner to collect that final kill, the setup there from the defense was just a bit too good. I mean, YMK just stood up on the top floor with no utility, no
Just on his
teammate
own.
to support him, right? Yeah, just standing there, gets the opening pick onto Rexon. Fantastic job. Then just gets 2 drones because they're just driven straight into him. Gets another 2 drones after that, and then grabs a free pick onto the Hibana. Like, I'm sorry, why are you investing 4 drones and no one putting pressure off of said drones to just give away another kill anyways? Look, coming in from IAS, these are positions which are exposed.
Attackers need
He's
to
not
locate and
in
defuse
some
bombs.
Fort Knox contraption. But there's just very little concerted effort. There's very little teamwork coming through to get the roam clear done. And when you have the setup as widely spread as they were, right? There's one in security, one in meeting, one up on the top floor. You can really start to apply pressure to grab these slow picks away from Vega and deny the ability that they have to play so strongly around these gunfights. He's sat at 12 kills now. He's got 6 in the last 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think Vega just realized that if they play aggressively on the defense here, they just go for these gunfights,
5 seconds to
and they go for these aggressive roams inside the building, they just, they're able to surprise and break down the roam clear on IAS's side. And it looks like they chose the more effective playstyle against IAS right now. So let's see if it keeps working for them and if IAS is going to be able to find an answer for this. Because from experience, when a team is playing really aggressively against you, you don't have an answer, it's really hard to keep going because it's really frustrating. And when your IGL or your team in general just doesn't have the answer for it, you just feel like you're already lost. It doesn't matter that you still have 2 rounds to lose. It doesn't really matter because you feel like you're not able to get any of these rounds. And again, Vega is gonna go for one of these aggressive picks, but this time Mute is gonna go down first. So 5v4 for IAS here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the first time around since they started attacking.
Now you've got to try and find a way to break Oxide out on tower. The flashbang is coming through, but they only have 1 set in the pocket of that thermite. So if they want to be able to get these smokes, they have to facilitate the glass pick. They have to be a little bit conscious of how they're choosing to go out. Joker just walking in and grabbing 2 from the bottom of the tower staircase does get shut down by YMK, who is still playing aggressively. But with the glass on the doorway, they're going to feed him a triple, Leo! They have fed him a triple. They line up perfectly on the doorway from outside.
And again, they're just not ready for the aggression.
Walks away into sight.
No, they're just not ready for it. I don't know why. It just looks like someone is always on a drone or in the sprint animation. It looks like one of them is always not ready. And then again, I mean, the sledge is just repelling inside. Yeah.
He's still in tower. And you just feed a kill in the 2v2. You have a minute left, IAS. Just use a drone. You got potentially 5 left in play.
Yeah, it feels like IAS are just losing it at this point, especially after that triple kill by Oxide there. But Dokkaebi is gonna make it a 1v1 here, so that's definitely doable.
Attackers have
Really
recovered their
given an opportunity to take this gunfight, and with the damage already dealt onto his army, 1 shot from the DMR might be enough. The camera's not yet hacked to this game, so that information from the Black Eye is going to be solely useful for the defense, and that's going to give Oxide the information he needs to collect the final kill and push Vega on a round which I honestly thought the take coming in from IAS was so solid. Just immediately onto that match point. They need to win but 1 of the next 2 rounds to secure the full 3 points in this map. And that would really help their chances of promotion through the group.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Vega is really confident, and I'm sure they're going to be confident in this next round, especially after winning 2v5, was it? Yeah, it was a 2v5, I'm pretty sure.
And you're looking at how the rest of this group needs to play out, right? Illis, Akademia, Spirit haven't haven't played their first game yet. This is their first game. So losing this isn't going to be the end of the world. It's not ideal. It just puts a lot more pressure on their next 2 games. If Vega are able to get the win here, get those 3 points, they go into the final game they need to play against Need 1, who, you know, showed some lifeline, but Team 86 just looked phenomenal in that opening game. Vito was on a life game. I think he had like a 1.76 rating at the end of it. So there's definitely a little bit of a climb for NS Akademia Spirit, and Vega, very strong chance to put themselves high up in this group to grab that second consolidation spot. Do a bit of a rehost coming in here as one of the players on the side of Vega Esports did have to disconnect. But hopefully that isn't going to delay us for too long. Still looking at 6-4 when we return though, Leo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a 6-4 advantage, but I think that's the entire picture, to be honest, because it looked like this map is really back and forth when we just started watching it, right? Especially towards up until towards the second half, right? And then it looked like Vega just came up with an idea, or they just decided to change their playstyle a little bit, and they just started going for these really aggressive peaks on the defense, right? And it looked like it changed everything for them. Not because these peaks are the best way, these aggressive plays are the best way to play Siege or anything like that, but more because it looked like IS just doesn't know how to handle it. It looks like every time Vega is playing a bit too aggressive, peeking a door they shouldn't or a window they shouldn't, it looks like IS is just not ready for that on the attack.
Yeah, I think there's just that aggression that is just not being caught off, like exactly like you said. I think you've hit the nail on the head for this one, and it's a shame because we're seeing rounds with real promise, real opportunity, like that last one. You know, YMK gets the pick after the Bravo
it's a 5v2.
walks up, right? Bravo walks up tower, gets a double kill, kills the pressure on stage that's sort of stopping them from walking up. YMK coming down should very quickly be punished by the Glaz Thermite duo. And to be walking through that doorway just after you've lost a teammate on the staircase and not being gun ready, not expecting that presence close on your door to try and cut off the fallback from the Valkyrie, it's just a mistake that has cost them a whole round here, and it's cost them a very important round because it's pushed them in towards that match point where now they have to win 2 rounds back to back and then a further 2 rounds of the following 3 if they want to secure 2 points from this game. If they want to secure any points from this game, they still need to win 2 in a row. We are going to jump to a very, very short technical break, I think, while we just get everyone back in the lobby and address the issue we had, but we should be back in no time at all. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us through that. We are here. Round 11. Match point to Vega Esports. One more round will see them claim the full 3 points from this game, which they will desperately want after a heartbreaking 7-5 loss in their season opener to Team
Defenders, protect
86.
your bombs from
So the
being
maximum
used
points
by
you can get from this, the more the merrier, as we say, Leo.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, who doesn't want 3 points, right? So what do you think IS should do right now? Because it looks like mentally they're not in this right now, right? But we had a break, so maybe they had a chance, you know, a few minutes to talk about what's happening right now. And if you're able to control the way Vega is playing, you should have the advantages, at least in this first round. You know, because Vega is not too sure if you're gonna adapt at this point. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna play the same way. If IS is ready for this, they should be able to get the advantage right here, right now. And then when we get to the next round, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But at least at this one round, IS should be able to get this advantage.
Difficult though, because it's still that dorms you have to attack into, right? And last time here, YMK on that Goyo downstairs inside a small tower was that massive problem for them. We never really got to see them actually take this site on because 4 died in the doorway to small tower. We also had a fun little fact shared with us in the break from the reappearance on the desk. Who said 90% of the time was the opening kill led to a round win. It was like 10 rounds. In 9 of those, you got the opening kill you won. So both of the teams here really wanting to make sure that they start the round off with that opening kill, get the advantage early on, because both teams have done a good job of consolidating on those leads. Already you can see the approach starting to come in, that control of trophy being contested, the Reterra being used just to remove these keepers as they walk on through. Got to be a little bit careful of the race bloom though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great stat right there. I mean, it always shows that when a team is great on capitalizing on the opening pick, it just shows that they definitely know what they're doing in terms of they stratted and they drive around everything they wanted to do, and they're on the same page. But I think at this point, it's the question of which playstyle is gonna clash better against the other and which team is gonna adapt right now. And I feel like Vega is not really feeling the pressure right now, right? Because they still have 2 match points to play with here. And with the way they're playing, when you're on match point and you're on top, you're leading. When you're playing aggressively, it just gives you even more room to play aggressively, right?
Caught out from below, Joker getting the opening pick. So statistically, the round's done. We don't need to see the rest, Leo, but you know what, we'll let the teams play it out. There's 56 seconds on the clock, and Vega still 4 men strong upstairs, waiting for this push to come through. Attic Burn starting to come through. A fantastic shot from Pozo to net the kill onto the Habana on the game's breach. Who's still in Attic though, and this is where the Flores is trying to push through. The fire and the asphyxiation bolt not doing a good enough job to dissuade the Wamai from playing. The Nolf is going to join them as well, so you're starting to see this build-up of the foundation. Rexon trying to walk down, but caught off with 2 members holding the crossfire. The round slipping away from IAS. Vega 20 seconds away from the match win. Breach opened, but Sickly from behind able to get the first pick onto Pozo, starting to open things up here as the full spread from IAS has been achieved. They're trying to walk on into sight. The kill from the back of Bunks, though, has given a new lifeline to Vega. Oxide on the backside by the chassis gets the injure onto the Flores. The diffuser goes down, and Sickly trying to walk in, caught off by Nolf in the back of bedroom. Just shuts down the game, shuts down the oncoming attack from IAS. They will leave with the maximum full points from this game, Leo.
Yeah, great round by Vega, and you were even ready to write them off this round, so it looks like they don't really care about your stats that much, Golo.
Good job we let them play it out, right? Good job we let them play it out.
Yeah, it's good, it's good. I mean, I thought we're just gonna stop the round and, you know, just go to the next one, but alright.
It's like the
7-4 it is.
The evolved form of Bunker Wars. Whoever gets the opening pick just gets the win, and it doesn't matter after that. You just start seeing teams just like running like shields galore just to stay alive a little bit longer. But ultimately, grabbing those 3 points from that delayed game, they have one more match, Vega, and now they have 3 points as well. That last game is going to be a very important one. If they can get that double win, the chances of them going through the group are, well, a lot higher. It is still a little bit of game time to go. 2 more games for them, so with that one in hand, there's still an option for them here to be biting away at Vega to catch up in the group. Still everything to play for.
Yeah. Yeah, good job by everyone here, and I think we're gonna throw it back to host here, and I think we should be having an interview right after this one, Golo.
Believe so. We do, but we'll let Reappearance explain a little bit more about that.
Everybody, I'm back here. Hopefully, I'm gonna be the one that's. I'm hoping I'm gonna be the one that's allowed to do the interview this time around. I think we have, if I saw it correctly, Velocity joining us. Velocity, of course, somebody that's also been on our production in Talent League. Just getting them in right now. We're just quickly waiting to set up the interview. In the meantime, I can talk about, quickly mention the statistic that I brought up earlier, that Golo talked about. I mentioned it during the break. 90% conversion rate up until the penultimate round. As we do have the interview ready, I'll get back to that point afterward. I quickly want to go and introduce Velocity. Bonsoir, Velocity. How are
Hello.
you feeling after that win for your team? A big
Very,
one.
very big win. Very, very happy. And I'm also feeling a bit weird. I'm not usually on this side of the desk, Reappearance, and well, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one for me.
Speedrunning every category of the live stream. I can see. All right, I do have a few questions noted down for some of the rounds that have happened. I'm sure, I don't know how much insight you had into the team during its playtime. I assume you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
All right, very quickly what I wanted to mention, I wrote that down immediately. For the very first round, we saw Vega try and bring out some shields, and we saw them try and go for somewhat of a blue rush. That didn't end up materializing, and my question is, it's a two-parted question. Number one, why did you decide to bring that operator lineup in the opening round? And the second one is, what made you hesitate?
I'm going to be honest with you. Your first question, why? I don't know. That's, to be 100% honest, I have no clue, and
Fair
it's something I need to... and what made him hesitate, I think it was just the 1 or 2 quick kills, I think it was, in the beginning. I think it just kind of caught us off guard. You know, you got 2 shield operators, you wouldn't expect the 2 quick kills within, what was it, less than a minute, I think it was, to come out as quick as they did, and, well, it kind of slowed us down. We had to kind of reassess what was going on, reassess the situation, and go, all right, this ain't working. We're going to try something different.
All right, another question I have for you. I'm going to keep interrogating you about round 5. So that must have been a kitchen defense for
Yes.
IAS, and you were very comfortably set up in a 3v1. The plant was going down. You then started playing the post plant, but that came a little close. Fantasy nearly clutched that in a 1v3 situation, and I just want to know if you can talk me through what happened in that situation, what maybe went wrong to lose those players individually, to give them those picks to nearly win out that fight.
So, well, you have notes down, and so do I. So I'm gonna just give you a little insight. So, in this round, we lacked a bit of drone work, a little bit of flank drones. We didn't have as many as we really would have liked to. So obviously, the flank that came from the Jaeger wasn't caught on a camera, and was then caught by the first player that died, and then obviously snowballed into the second, and well, it left Poser on that 1v1. Luckily, he managed to clutch it out, barely, but we'll take it. As a round is a round against a team like Spirit.
Yeah, a little too close for comfort, but certainly playing that post-plan position is ultimately what ends up winning you that round. All right. So very quickly, I just want to know for YMK, I mean, toward the tail end of that game, he really seemed to have warmed into that. I mean, the 4K in one of the rounds that ended up flawless, I think that was round 8, and round 10 was actually the round. So up until round 10, every single round that the opening kill was gained by a team, they also managed to close out that round. And YMK was the one that broke that streak by just tearing through multiple players outside of that T1 door. I just want to know if how was the excitement in the comms after YMK getting that 3K?
Oh my god. So we saw the 3K, we saw the 4K, and we kind of just let him do his thing. We saw the 4K come out. We were like, all right, you want to stay in this, and we saw him take another kill, and then I think take a couple shots in round 10, and we just let him do his thing from then. And he just really prevailed. He prevails in these aggressive and these, must-win situations. And well, he did it again today. And well, the comms after the win as well were, whew, a sight to behold.
All right, that's very interesting. So off the back of just gaining that momentum from him getting that 4K, you just let him do his thing. He's feeling it. He's in the zone. You let him continue that, and he's able to convert that into round 10 as well. Great to hear that. Really good to know that you're kind of just enabling whoever seems to be feeling it at the moment. That's a very good approach. Just some closing thoughts. You're going to go up against Need One Esports, just as your opponents today will also go up against Need One later as well. You've already lost the game. You've won one now. You're just 1-1 on the scoreboard. The next game is going to be really important. Do you have any notes that you want to share with me on Need One?
I'm going to keep him a secret.
Okay.
I'm just excited. We are playing our French counterparts. I'm not gonna leak any prep we have.
Okay, so a bit of a French derby, but gonna keep it a little secret. Cooking up something special. Definitely gonna be looking forward to that game then. But your current opponents, commiserations to them. IS, they played really well. You were the better team today. Again, congratulations on winning that out. I would open up the round for anybody else in production to quickly ask a questions if one of the two casters have one more, and then I think I'd send you off. So, anybody? If there's no questions, then I'll just very quickly ask you, do you want to say anything to the stream, to any potential fans or anybody that might be watching? I'll send you off.
I just want to say thanks for the support on the stream, because I have the stream up next to me, and well, it was amazing to see so many Let's Go Vegas, especially from myself, in the Twitch chat. So thank you very much for the support today, and you got to come watch our next match because we've got something cooking.
All right, gotta support the team. Thank you very much for the interview. Great insights gained today, and I'll send you off.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, guys.
Have a good evening. All right, there we go. That was the interview. I want to know if we can quickly get the casters in and maybe ask Golo one or two more questions. Leo as well, if he wants to get in. Just want to thank these two guys. Done a bang-up job today on those two casts. Just really want to mention that again, because we couldn't do it without you. And so you're free to say one or two more things, and then I think we'll wrap this up very quickly. So any closing thoughts?
One or two more things. Oh, sorry, I couldn't resist. No, I've been really happy with the games we've had today. I think the teams that have come in and played a little bit stronger have been the teams that have walked away with the full points in both of our matchups. And looking in towards as we're starting to figure out where these groups and the standings are going to finish up, I'm excited to see what comes next. And I think we got a couple really interesting matchups, especially for the White Tigers, Barney Trusted Dinosaurs. Make sure you're tuning in for that one, because that's going to be a banger. And for Vega as well, their last game, if they can secure those points, get the win in there, get that set out of the group, I'm looking forward to what playoffs has in store.
All right, Leo, any more closing thoughts? Or
Yeah, for me, the games were great. I just want to thank everyone in production and the host, and of course Golo casting with me and just helping me, kind of getting back into casting after a long hiatus of a year and a half. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. And start banning Oregon, please.
All right. Leo doesn't want any more Oregon. You guys heard it here first. Get some map diversity going for the playoffs. We'll go and do that. And that's going to be it for Titan Series today. We'll see you guys later on. We still have more group games to go through. Not everybody's confirmed yet, so stay tuned for some of those games, especially White Tigers BTD. And until then, take care and goodbye.